Coming up on ECG, the best conference of E3 will surprise you. I could write clickbait with that.
Sony betrays Marvel.
Steam sale is wrecking your wallet.
Fox's fantastic failed ideas again.
Oh no.
Messed that up.
All this and more coming up on the East Coast Geek Podcast.
Eventually.
Welcome to episode 102 of the East Coast Geek Podcast for Friday, June 23rd, 2017, where we bring you all the latest news on comics, movies, and gaming. I'm your host, Jeremy, and coming from an exotic location, as you can see behind me. This is my co-host, Mitch. Opu, how you doing, bud?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. I'm coming from an exotic location of basements.
Right? Well, I've been stuck in this background for a while. I think it's going on like 50-some hours.
Oh my goodness, and is he obsessed, people?
Hold
Every day I'm getting a text, why aren't you getting on ARC?
50,
I'm working or I'm sleeping.
50 hours. I am sitting at 50 hours in the past week and a half. That game is amazing. Got it at a killer deal right before the Steam sale even, for like $13 for the game and the expansion, or the DLC, the first one anyways. But yeah. I've been stuck in Dinosaur Land, and it's been a blast. I definitely got to do a little review of the game. I think you've been enjoying it as well when you can.
Yeah, it's pretty okay, I guess. It's a lot better when you have somebody else play with you. I'm not big for multiplayer games, as you know, but that one is definitely something that helps to have somebody help you out, because otherwise you just kind of die a lot.
Yeah, well, I've been busy while you haven't been there, so there's been a lot of changes to our survivability anyways. So, yeah, Ark Survival Evolved, Perry. But anyways, what have you been up to? Anything?
Well, aside from getting please from you with text and on Messenger on Facebook, and you sent me like the same thing like 2 different times. It's hilarious. Like earlier you sent me, but I've been watching shows because that's about the only thing you can do with a kid, I guess, right now, except for make sure that they live. But I've been watching Case Closed again, Detective Conan, if you're in Japan land. But this was a show that they dubbed years ago for Adult Swim, I guess, and I kind of didn't watch it then, but now, because I've been getting into my big mystery kick again, I decided to watch this, and I really regret not watching it before. So, Detective Conan, or Case Closed as America knows it, I think some other countries know, is about this prodigy 15, 16-year-old kid who is a very famous amateur detective. And during one case, he ends up getting knocked out and drugged. The drug had $1 million to 1. The drug was a synthetic one, which should have killed him.
Right.
And it would have left no traces in the system, no evidence. The only person that could have solved it potentially was him. However, it had $1 million to 1 chance of reverting him to a child.
Oh, great.
So he de-aged by 10 years, and now he's about a 6-year-old kid. Trying to figure out how to try to find the people that turned him like this, try to find a way to change himself back, and try to keep the girl that he's in love with from dating other guys.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Perry, yeah, I've been looking into the frogs. Those things look cool. I heard they're great for taming stuff. Look, see, even Perry's talking about Ark, man.
Hey, why don't you get on our server then? And let me be your king.
It's a private server.
I have already claimed the beach and the forest, so I'm pretty much a dictator.
Ooh, which the forest is overgrown and your sign is now in the middle of because I destroyed my buildings on that side.
Oh, well, I have to put more. I need to put a sign up on each side.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
And in the middle, just in case somehow you just spawn in the middle of this thing.
Right. So, oh, Xbox One. Darn, that's too bad.
Ah.
Well, and like I said in the intro, the Steam sale, I pulled it from the back and just threw it in here. The Steam sale is running from yesterday, the 22nd of June, until the 5th of July. And it's already hit me. I have Wolfenstein The New Order, like I said I wanted to get. And I also bought a game called Everspace, which is a indie title. It's got a roguelike, kind of like FTL. A mix between FTL and an actual live shooter you can fly around in. So it's really neat. I need to do some video of it and actually sit down and play it, which I haven't gotten to do. Maybe I'll get to do that later. So, but other than that, I'm trying to keep my eye open for some good deals here and there, but we'll see.
Well, I'm actually looking at Steam right now because I'm a professional like that, and
Right.
I am. I've got I got an email and it lists. You know how the emails still list like 4 or 5 of them, and I'm like,
Right.
oh, thank goodness, nothing on my list is really on sale enough for me to spend money. And then I scroll down, and it's like, oh, by the way, 48 other items are on sale.
Yep.
And I'm like, something's going to get me, but I may end up buying a couple, but it's going to be like the $2 or $3 ones because I like to buy a bunch of old games.
Shadow of Mordor, the Middle Earth game, was $4 yesterday for the Game of the Year edition. Yeah, I thought about it. I really did, because especially with the nice graphics card I've got now. So,
I'm like looking at Skyrim, and I'm like, why can't you be cheaper?
maybe it'll go on sale soon.
Hey, it's on sale for $20. It's 50% off right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
like
I just want it cheaper.
Is it the Legendary Edition?
It should be.
Oh, okay.
And I'm looking at the Game of the Year edition of Morrowind because I never finished Morrowind.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That one was good though. I like that one.
No, it was good. Don't get me wrong. I just never finished it.
Right.
Unfortunately, that happens to a lot of games that I play. Like, oh, I love this, but then I never get to play it again.
How'd your Mega Man remake go? Mighty Number 9?
I said, well, first of all, let me clarify. I said games that I love, and I just never get to go back to.
Did Ukulele get finished?
No, Ukulele didn't get finished. However, I do enjoy that game, and I want to return back to it.
Gotcha.
And I need to update it, actually. It's got an update.
Right.
But I just keep getting pulled to so much other stuff. I've got to play Ark with you because you'll guilt trip me.
Well,
and then apparently I have this child I'm supposed to raise.
Well, listen, you won't have to play Ark with me until next weekend, so...
Until next weekend?
Well, I gotta work this weekend. I don't get to play, so... I won't be home to play, so... But I have a nice week of vacation up next, so... I'll get to play a lot of stuff. I'll be streaming a bunch of stuff when I can, so... I'll have to put my stuff in the links page on the page, so... Alright, well, you want to head into the news? Or are you still looking? Are you still looking at Steam?
I didn't get a chance to pull an article for this, but Marvel Legacy dropped, or they released images, and they're not going over well to the crowd. So I don't know. Like every idea Marvel comes out with right now is turning into crap. Even people that I know normally defend Marvel's books a lot are crapping on this. So maybe next week we'll have more details. But we are slam packed already. So
yes,
we'll go ahead.
Sir. All right. Let me go ahead and push this button here. I think I'll always play that when Perry's around now, so if he sticks around, that's going to be our main movie theme. Alright, let's put this up here, and I got another backdrop for me. Yay, look at that. I'm a pro. Alright, Black Panther teaser. We kind of touched on it a couple of weeks ago, but I figured we revisit it if you had any other comments about it.
The only thing is, well, it looks good, obviously. I'm glad Martin Freeman's in it, because I love that guy. There's one thing, though. The scene with the person that has that big jewelry thing in their lip?
Yeah.
Isn't that usually jewelry for women?
I guess.
In African cultures?
Come on. Well, I don't know.
Saying,
Oh, you mean, okay. Yeah, I don't know. not an expert.
That just kind of popped out of nowhere. I'm like, why is that there?
I thought.
I
was gonna say I thought the interrogation scene with Martin Freeman was cool when they're sitting in there.
It was very cool.
And they pan to the other side of the glass, and you see Black Panther standing over there. And he knows he's there. That's the even better part, is he knows he's there.
Yeah.
So, it looks great, though. I cannot wait for that movie.
Do you think they'll reference Bucky in this?
I don't know, because, so I heard a weird thing mentioned where maybe Bucky will show up, and maybe that's where Buck and Cappy or Captain are hanging out. Or Bucky and Captain are hanging out, hiding out.
Well, we know that Wakanda has taken Bucky to try to research him.
Right. So, maybe he will. Maybe there'll be a cameo, I guess. So, well, I guess we'll see. I mean, only time will tell, right?
Yeah, that's true. So, I guess we'll have to just see. But it looks good so far. Really enjoying it. Black Panther is a very tricky character, not only to portray, which we know the actor does very well job.
Right.
Very good job at it, but he's difficult to write without him seeming overpowered, which happens sometimes because he really doesn't have many flaws, with the exception that he's stubborn and he's guarded and he's paranoid, kind of. He's not like got the mental deficiencies of Batman, who yeah. He's
which
OP.
We haven't mentioned. Adam West passed away a couple of weeks ago, since we didn't have a show this past week because of the E3 coverage. Sadly passed away, and apparently they were doing something for him on Family Guy this past weekend. So I still haven't checked that out yet. But
yeah, well, I don't watch Family Guy anymore, so.
Aww.
Well, it's just not interesting.
No, I got you. Yeah, for some people it's worn its welcome, so.
Yeah.
In other Marvel news, I figured I'd just roll this in here. Marvel's not ruling out the R rating on other films in the future going forward. I don't know if they necessarily need to be, like you stated here, you said you hope that they don't go R for R's sake, so, unless I typed that and I don't remember.
Either way, if I didn't type it, then I agree with it, because, it'd probably be a good change of pace, and some of their movies probably could warrant it. Obviously, a Punisher movie could do it.
For sure.
Who else is there?
Well, I mean, the stuff on Netflix is R. Yeah. Everything is R, and it's apropos to what it is. It's not. It doesn't feel like it's tacked on just so they can say the F word all the time or something.
Yeah.
Or make very lewd comments and jokes that are inappropriate. You kind of want to keep. I kind of want to keep it to where my kids can actually watch at least the movies. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And it depends on what the characters deserve and the world that they represent. Obviously, the Marvel Universe as a whole, but Daredevil represents one small section of it.
Right.
Punisher represents one small section of it. Iron Fist really doesn't need to be R, but he's one of those characters that really could go either way depending on who he's with.
They probably.
Who else is there off the top of my
head? More than
Wolverine.
Likely. Yeah,
a lot of them are like X-Men characters, like Deadpool. Obviously, Wolverine would be a rated R one. Thanos could easily be a rated R character if they showed like his backstory in a lot of detail.
Yeah,
because he kills a lot of people, and a lot of them by his bare hands.
Oh God.
Well, there was one thing that he ended up going through and killing almost everybody that all of his children or whatever, because he had been like a space pirate for years, and then he got really obsessed with death, and that's when he was going through and like wiping them all out for one reason or another, because I totally forgot.
Great.
Let's see.
Yeah, I guess that would work for him. I was gonna say for Iron Fist, probably more for his enemies, less for him. So he seems kind of a wholesome kind of dude.
Well, Black Widow could. I'm trying to think, and I'm looking up characters right now just so I can see off the top of my head, because I'm absolutely brain farting right now. Black Widow could definitely be one, though. with the
Gotcha.
whole espionage thing. I'm not sure what else. Who else?
I gotcha.
But the characters are out there. The characters are out there.
Yeah. I mean, they've got them, but it's like they can be selective.
Yeah.
And keep to the main stuff. Though, I wonder if we'll ever see an Iron Man 4. Or do you think he's just gonna make cameos? I mean, I don't really think Iron Man should even go R.
Nah,
he's not. He's not. That's not in his character either, really. But unless he goes crazy. I always like bringing up that storyline. I know it's happened. But I was listening to another show. They were talking about the passing of the torch eventually between, like what they did in the comics with Cap and freaking what's his face.
Which time?
Falcon. Yeah, Falcon. Most recent one.
So Hawkeye's been Cap before too.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to do that though.
No.
Anthony Mackie's kind of new.
Okay, he did it for like a day, but there's also U.S. Agent, which could potentially be a R film because he's kind of crazy and graphic.
Right.
You just have I would like to see adapted though real quick, and potentially this could be an R-rated movie.
Howard the Duck.
No, but yes. Also, yes, I should say. The Armor Wars. Anybody remember the Armor Wars? Anybody in the audience remember the Armor Wars?
Why don't you go ahead and start explaining, because I know there are
Okay, well, the Armor Wars is when... And I guess they kind of touched on it a little bit in Iron Man 2, but not really. Tony Stark realizes that his tech is still being out there, being used for weapons and other bad guy armors.
Right.
So he pretty much, again, he starts policing the world like he always does, and starts disabling anything with the slightest bit of tech that he built in them. And he was even going so far as attacking other people that wore powered suits, but they had developed them completely on their own. Stingray, for example, he attacked Stingray, who's a marine biologist who built a super suit so he could travel underwater and explore. Basically a super scuba suit.
Right.
When he attacked him, he's like, "Hey, that's my tech," and he's like, "Analyze it. There's nothing of yours in here. I built all this by myself. You aren't as smart as you think you are, Tony." This was back when Marvel didn't make him the most genius person ever. Tony Stark was actually pretty low on the list. He had a team of people that
he's a B character too, right?
He was actually. He started off as one of the A characters. Then he went down to like B, and then he was on his way to C and out the door because his comics weren't selling anymore until the movie came out. That's pretty much one of the reasons that they picked him to do a movie about, because they're like, "Oh, we don't care." And then it made $1 billion, and they're like, "Oh, we care about him again."
All right, so let's move into this next thing here. Sony betraying Marvel.
I haven't seen if there's been any fallout to this yet, but Amy Pascal and Kevin Feige were in an interview, and they were asking her about the Venom and the Black Cat, Silver Sable movies that are coming out, and she's like, "Yeah, they're totally part of the MCU." And he goes, "Huh?" I'm the head of the MCU, and I don't think I've heard about this.
Nor did I give my blessing.
Yeah, so I don't think he's said anything yet on it. But he needs to, and he needs to soon, because those movies are going to be bad. Amy Pascal eats paint. If you guys haven't noticed, she's insane. If you've read any of those leaked emails, you know she's crazy.
Oh, that's right.
She's not that smart.
She was involved in that. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, just read about.
Yeah, I know. It's so far back, right? That's what, a year or two ago.
Yeah, a couple of years. But see, you know me, I don't forget that kind of stuff because I'm a vindictive person.
And an elephant never forgets.
That's absolutely true, and I've got a big tusk.
Yeah, I think he should definitely say something.
Yeah, maybe he's just trying to bide his time to see, maybe if the Spider-Man movie makes a lot of money, which I think it's projected to make $100 million in the first weekend.
Right.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
That's pretty much it. Like, maybe then he'll have more clout to be able to say something, or maybe he's lawyering up, say, well, what can we do if there's going to start altering the deals on us, you know?
Right. Well, while he's thinking about that, he's busy extending contracts, and Chris Evans extended his contract, and for good reasons. He said, quote, I had 6 films in my Marvel contract, so I could have said after the 3rd Avengers film I was done, but they wanted to make the 3rd and 4th Avengers films a 2-parter, Evans said to The Telegraph. They said they have so many other characters to fit in, Guardians of the Galaxy, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, and couldn't get them all into one movie, which, history of comic book movies always having too many people in a movie is always a problem. So, like, I find the balance, like, Winter Soldier and Civil War, they were a good balance of extra characters without being too overbearing. You continue to say, he did reveal he decided to sign for the 4th Avengers movie because it made sense. And this is the foreshadowing. It's going to wrap everything up. Which who knows what that means? I mean, we've talked about it, and I was just talking about it recently, or just a few minutes ago, the passing of the torch, which means maybe we see Old Man Rogers finally kick it out, or we see Captain America die. He's not unkillable, is he?
No, he's not unkillable.
What if Thanos just grabs him and crushes him?
I mean, that very well could be. You know, none of them are technically unkillable.
Right.
Hulk's pretty close. Thanos is also pretty close, too.
Right.
It just depends. It always depends on the writer. It's the long and short of it. None of your characters have any consistency because it always depends on the whim of the writer. If the writers want, Rick Jones be able to beat up the Hulk, then that's what's going to happen. Unfortunately, that's always the flaw with these kind of characters. But
I'm kind of hoping that they do put some vulnerability on these characters, because the actors are definitely not going to stick around forever, and you can't just end it abruptly. We've seen that happen on too many TV shows we like.
Well,
end it on your terms.
If the characters were to stick around forever, the actors can't.
Right. Well, but yeah, I mean, I feel like I'd be more accepting to someone replacing them in a passing of the torch, rather than just, hey, look, in the next Captain America movie, it's I don't know, just pick a name. Anyone, freaking what's his face that played Mad Max? There you go. He's pretty stacked. But anyways, I think I'd be more accepting to a passing of the torch or the death of a character than just replacing him suddenly in the next movie, like we did with the Batman movies back in the day. Back in the 90s, I mean. Right?
Yep, that's back in the day now. Congratulations, we're old.
Great. Avengers Infinity War is currently in production and is scheduled to premiere in theaters May 4th, 2018. Which is amazing because, well, I guess, I don't know. Well, they've been most of the filming. Done most of the filming, right? I think they've
I guess.
Chris Pratt's already moved on to working on the next Jurassic World movie, by the way. It's called The Fallen Empire for the subtitle.
Yeah, that's...
well, that's gonna... And listen, what's his face? Ian Malcolm. What's his name? Why can't I remember? I can never...
Goldblum?
Jeff Goldblum, thank you. He's making a comeback in the movies. He's gonna be in that movie. In the next Jurassic
World.
World.
I'm excited about.
I know, it's like, hey, he's back. We're gonna see some more chaos theory in play, so... but yeah, so... May 4th, 2018. So next May we'll get that, and I think the following year we get the finishing. I think they were going to release them the next 2 years in a row, because I think they filmed both while they had everybody together.
Right.
I think it was more convenient.
Did like the Lord of the Rings and everything, where they filmed it all at once.
Right. Just to get it done. Everybody's there on stage and doing their thing. So, I guess that's it for that. You gonna fall off the side of your camera there?
So apparently the baby's trying to chime in with her 2 cents. You don't even know anything, baby. You haven't read the comics.
Get through this stack and then you can talk.
Yeah, exactly. There's all this stuff back here. I'm already got to categorize it by age group. What's acceptable for... Hellboy's acceptable for babies, right?
Well, he starts out as a baby, so...
That's true. He does start out for a baby for like a page.
Yeah.
2 pages, and then it jumps to him being 60.
Right.
So the next thing we've got, we've been talking about rated R and everything. HBO is rebooting Watchmen.
As long as we don't have Dr. Manhattan walking around still. Put some pants on the guy.
He's absolutely going to be doing that.
Put some pants on the guy. Come on.
Especially with HBO.
I know, but put some pants on the guy. Come on.
His glorious omnipotent Wayne.
Yeah, you mean omnipresent. It's always there.
Both.
It takes up most of the screen.
Sometimes it's 2 or 3 of them at the same time. Remember that scene?
Yeah, I remember what you're talking about. Thanks, Zack Snyder.
Well, it's in the comic. You know,
I know.
Admittedly, Zack Snyder did as best he could with something like Watchmen. HBO doing a Watchmen series, getting 2 seasons out of it, maybe 3. That'd be kind of pushing it, I think, depending on how many episodes there are. Yeah, I can absolutely see this working better as a HBO series than a movie series at all. Oh, your mom joined at the first time, didn't she?
Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
Okay, so Dr. Manhattan is a character. He's just so beyond these mortal, petty issues like wearing clothes or not just teleporting hundreds of people back to their homes at once or blowing people up just on a whim, because he's just above all of it. If it was just gratuitous to be gratuitous, I'd have a problem with it. But knowing his character and how his character is, it made absolute sense because he's so alien to our current mindsets. I mean, he doesn't even see things linearly.
Right.
He sees everything happening at once. So, if you could see your entire lifetime happening forward and backwards at the same time, would you think you'd be concerned about pants?
Probably not.
Exactly. And the guy, like the guy mentions, he's like, I've walked on the surface of the sun. I've seen things that happen so small and so fast that you couldn't even, know that they exist. You really think I'm worried about somebody like you? He didn't say like that. But
So my deal breaker on that is they got to land Jackie Earl Haley.
Oh my goodness, that is the deal breaker right there. Can they get him, or can they get one that looks just like him and is that good of an actor?
He's doing a good mix of movies and TV, so they need to work that in. He was perfect for that part. Yeah. That was so great.
I don't think he's aged that much either.
Not really.
He should still be able to fit that role.
He follows us on Twitter, by the way.
He does follow us. Do we post enough for him?
I don't know. I'll have to tag him on this one. That's pretty good. But anyways, he was in Preacher this past year. 8 episodes. I don't know if he was in this season, but the first season he was. And he's also in the Tick TV show in the pilot. I
still haven't watched the pilot.
He played the Terror. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I can absolutely see him as the Terror too.
Yeah, he's been in a lot. I really liked him in RoboCop, the remake, and that one show.
I haven't seen
you haven't? Still. I'll have to loan it to you. Also, that TV show Human Target was really good too. He was in that. So
wasn't that a comic?
Yes, it was.
You know what what is that?
Really
Scud the Disposable Assassin. Why haven't they made that into a show?
Scud the Disposable Assassin. Great.
Yeah.
Same reason why we don't have the Return of the Toxic Crusaders, the Toxic Avenger.
Well, that one's it's a little different.
I know it is, but it's still one of those things that we don't. We haven't seen any resurfacing of those names. So.
The guy still makes movies. The guy that does Toxic Avenger. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Well,
Trauma or whatever. He's on YouTube. He posts movies on there all the time.
I didn't know that. I'll have to take a look at that. All right. Yeah. Jackie Earl Haley. Coming soon to HBO's Watchmen. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
if it looks good, and HBO's got a good track record right now with me. Game of Thrones. Did you see that? Did you see that Steam sale video I posted?
Not yet.
It had spoils from Game of Thrones, so. But all right, Fox keeps making terrible decisions.
Yes. So have you heard about the recent idea for Fantastic Four?
No, but I think people are going to start assuming from the picture they see.
Yes. Well, they're wanting to do it, but they want it kid based now.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, you degenerate further backwards, and pretty soon they'll be the Fantastic Babies.
Well, it's either this. Either they're going to do the Fantastic Four as kids, as in like Kid Ben Grimm, Kid Reed Richards, Kid Johnny Storm, Kid Susan Storm,
right?
Versus Kid Doctor Doom. Or they're going to do it about
who's a 12-year-old that makes YouTube videos.
Yeah. He hacks.
Right.
He spends all his time on 4chan.
And really, in actuality, he's just a script kiddie and doesn't know it.
Or they're going to make it about their kids. Franklin Richards and what was the other one's name? It was she was named after Doctor Doom's mother. And the reason was because he helped her give birth in an elevator or something.
Franklin Richards?
Monica or something?
What's that?
Monica? Did you Google it?
I'm looking, and I'm not seeing. I pulled up the one with Franklin, but
yeah, Frank. Now Franklin, for those that don't know, he's portrayed sometimes as kind of a genius, but consistently he's got nigh omnipotent powers.
Valeria Richards.
Valeria, there you go.
Yep.
The problem is he always burns his powers out every time he uses them. Like he'll do one major thing with them, like he restored Galactus and done some other things like that. But he burns them out, and it takes years for them to come back. So either you're going to have a nigh unstoppable 12-year-old, or you're going to have a bunch of kids super. Here's the thing: there's already a group of kids superheroes out there. They're called the Power Pack.
Oh, what about the Runaways? Wasn't the Runaways another one?
Well, they're teenagers. I'm talking about like 10-year-olds.
Oh, really? Okay. They're called the Power Pack? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is incredible.
And that would be a great kids show. Why haven't they done that?
Hi, Julie. Sorry. Yeah.
So it's just really obvious at this point that they're doing everything they can to keep the rights from going back to Marvel. They're wanting to stranglehold. They're wanting to ruin these characters to prevent them from ever having fun, or the fans ever having fun with them again.
Or actually getting a good treatment.
Or actually get money from them.
Right. All right, this is another good one. Great one. Nothing's going on with Michael Bay, so we can make fun of him. Transformers: The Last Night reviews are out. My bad.
Yes, and the vast majority of them that I've read, they're like, oh, they're okay, or they're really bad. It's an action movie.
Well, I saw the Rotten Tomatoes post, and it says the critics' reviews are out, and they say it's more of the same. So, they have found a groove, and they're just going to continue to be in it, and they're not gonna do anything to break the mold, which they so severely need to do. I mean,
here's the thing:
the movies have just gone downhill.
The movie started out fairly low, but like at an area where you could say, okay, well, it's not that great, but it's a jumping off point. You know, it's like an origin story. So you have to have the human characters. But they keep trying to find these really dumb reasons for characters to be in there. A lot of the Bay influences are there. Annoying, poorly written human characters, cliched stereotypes. People are saying that the plot is almost incomprehensible. What little plot is there? That it's unfunny. Like, they brought back the pedophilia jokes. Yay. They're trying to turn this 15-year-old into a Megan Fox icon from the first one.
That is one happy baby.
Huh?
I said that is one happy baby.
I don't know why she's happy. We're talking about terrible movies right now, and it's a great IP. The Transformers are great. constant product placement and confusing action sequences. So, and I could go into spoilers here, but I'm not, in case anybody wants to watch it. But I mean, you should be able to pretty much predict the movie. People do say that, hey, the Decepticons are a highlight, and Megatron has the Gen 1 gun back, like the arm cannon he used.
Right.
Which, based off the encyclopedia that I had years ago, he actually pulls the power for that gun from a black hole. And according to his stats, he's actually more powerful than Optimus Prime. He's just crazy, which hinders him, and egotistical.
Yeah, I got you. I wish it could be better. I really do, because the Transformers is, one of those things from the childhood, just watching the cartoons and stuff, and to actually see them in these live action movies, and now nothing. It's just not worth watching because it's Marky Mark and his terrible.
And the Fun Bunch, the Funky Bunch,
yeah.
And here's the thing, and this kind of destroys my hope for ever getting like a Beast Wars spinoff.
Yeah.
Because the Beast Wars was,
or at least a good one.
Huh?
Or at least hopes for a good one. You might get a bad one.
At least one.
So if they want to keep making movies, I think they're ready for like Transformers 10, right? So. All right. I think that's all we got on the Transformers.
That's too much already.
Without spoiling too much, yeah. All right, last thing we got in the movies. The Han Solo reboot directors are gone.
Yeah.
Conflicting reports. Some say left, others say got fired.
Either way, they're no longer there. That's the big thing about it. So here's the thing: the Flash has lost every director for like the last year and a half. They've gone through like 5 or 6 directors now.
Right.
So now they get a chance at a double kill, get rid of 2 directors at once.
Yeah, but they gained a good director.
Yeah, so good news, I think, for Han Solo is they got Ron Howard, one of the best directors right now.
Right? So now the Han Solo movie is going to be a version of Arrested Development. It's going to be Han Solo's Arrested. Oh yeah, he definitely has the chops for. I just meant the last few things he's been doing. It's been Arrested Development and a couple other things. I haven't actually looked.
Yeah, I haven't looked at his recent work besides Arrested Development, but he is. First of all, so we already know with Arrested Development, he could do different types of comedy. He had slapstick, dry humor, just witty. I don't even know how to really describe it, but like, scene transitions. He had all that kind of clever editing for Arrested Development. Then we know he can do the extremely serious stuff, like with Apollo 13, which I think it was 13.
Oh.
Why do I keep circling back to 11?
Forgot he's also directing The Dark Tower. Oh no, he's producer. Never mind. Which one's the director? There we go. Second column. So the Beatles. He directed the. The Robert Langdon movie Inferno.
The Plankton movie.
Robert Langdon.
Oh.
The Da Vinci Code series. He did the Odd Couple TV show, Arrested Development recently, and then a show called This Is Us. So, but anyways, it's a good gain. Yeah, I mean he'll fit in with the Disney stuff anyways. Wasn't, well, Apollo 13 wasn't Disney, but that was a pretty wholesome movie. Han Solo's, you know the reason why they canned those two, or why those two are gone, right?
Why?
They were trying to make it too funny, like a comedy movie, which is silly. Yeah, exactly, Laylee, silly. It's just ridiculous, but
yeah, I mean, there could be some humor in there. Han Solo was sarcastic and clever and stuff, but it still needs to be kind of a serious movie.
Sarcastic, but yeah, apparently they were gone too far.
Like cartoony?
Like comedy parody kind of realm.
No.
These anthology movies are supposed to be stories that are actually happening in the universe. It's not a parody. It's the real thing. So, I don't know what they were thinking. It was a bad decision anyways. So it's good that they're gone, and hopefully Ron Howard will stick to the script. I mean, we know he will, but you know.
Well, listen, whatever. I am the last person to be criticizing Ron Howard on his directorial work. So whatever he decides on that is the best route to go with Han Solo, I'm going to agree with it.
Right, even if he recasts Han Solo as Michael Cera as Han Solo.
I mean, how young is he going to go? Of course.
Well, the kid that's playing him now I think it's like teens. So.
Teen?
It's got to be late teens, right? I mean, he's not going to just steal the money or win the
that's what I was
Falcon.
curious about, because Han Solo in the original expanded universe was a officer, captain, right, in the Imperial Army.
I think so.
But then he got a guilty conscience about using Wookiees as slave labor, and that's how he got the life debt from Chewbacca was by rescuing him. Right. So I wonder what it's going to be in the expanded universe, if they've discussed it yet, or if they're...
Oh, Alden Ehrenreich is 27. Maybe they will do it. Maybe they will do it with his, like, the end of his Empire career and into smuggling.
So
I just hope they don't try and jam everything in there, like the tropes where you go from one convenient plot point to another to set the character up for the movie in the future, or for the movies in the future. You know what I mean?
Oh, like moving at the speed of plot, like they don't keep the like in Guardians of the Galaxy, which we all love the movie, but how somehow everybody could get to, like, Thanos could show, or not, Ronan could show up at that
nowhere,
that criminal refuge, that criminal space station. He could show up like minutes after that the guys had gotten there.
Yeah,
or that thing.
Well, but that's because Drax sent him a message.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is Drax sent him a message, so he showed up a few minutes, but then Star-Lord presses his beacon for his crew, and they show up a few minutes later. Like how close were you guys to doing this? Huh?
Yeah. Convenience of the plot. Yeah. Well, not only that, but as they all run into each other too, even as the gang's coming together, it's all just one convenient meeting right after another to get them together. But I'm sure it's probably not far off from the comics. So. Oh,
and you're talking about, like, because I was about to say, well, he didn't meet everybody until A New Hope, but you're talking about, like, when he meets Lando and stuff.
Yeah.
This doesn't necessarily have to go into him meeting Lando. He could have already known him.
Yeah. Well, there's that too. But I mean, you have to see. You want to see important things. Maybe we want to see him leaving Empire service, and we definitely want to see him winning the Millennium Falcon. Those two things probably have to be fulfilled in that timeline.
Right. And so he could know of Lando or have known him. But that's the time when he kind of betrays him in a way, and he got the Falcon from Lando, right?
Yes, yeah, he won it in the game of Sabacc, right?
Something like that. But yeah, I think that. See, I mean, so you don't have to show how they met. There's plenty of options.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. They don't have to necessarily have meet in that moment, but yeah, meet in some time there, and just be able to explain the stuff without, oh, hey, I'm Lando, hey, I'm Han, here, I won this ship from you.
One of the other tropes I think you're talking about is everybody went to high school together, that kind of thing.
Right, yeah, oh yeah.
Like how long have you known these characters? I've known that guy for 20 years. Like, the main villain, his number one, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and Han Solo, he's what? What race is he? I mean, he's human, but what planet is he from? I can't remember. Oh, Corellia. There we go.
Did you remember that, or did you Google it?
Yeah, I Googled it. I kind of remembered. I couldn't get it out, so I looked it up. So, all right. Well, let's go ahead and move into the gaming. How's that? And we can wrap this up here.
All right.
Let's get close to time. Eardrums. Hey, look, it was E3 this past week, right?
What's that?
Last week E3, the Electronic Entertainment Expo, the soon-to-be failing video game expo that used to be an industry thing, but now there's not enough interest in it because everybody wants to launch their own or announce their own stuff at their own events, like Blizzard and who else doesn't show up? Oh, Nintendo.
What?
I wonder how... I didn't look at their attendance for this year. I wonder if the numbers are in yet. Because, remember, the one thing we talked about last year was they were talking about this is going to be the first year that the public is going to be able to buy tickets.
Now, that's what I was actually going to bring up, is one dev said, because they had bags for devs to carry around, and they had bags for just the customers, the attendees or whatever. They had two separate type of bags.
Right.
And he was amazed at like the absolute sea of the attendees as opposed to the dev bags. So he could like just at a glance tell how many of those were there.
15,000 tickets got sold. But it took 3 months for them to sell them all. Yeah, listen, to put it into perspective, here, let's do this. BlizzCon attendance numbers. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, I know this is exciting, entertaining radio. 25,000 tickets last year. Those sold out within the first few minutes. E3 couldn't sell 15,000, or could only sell 15,000 tickets in 3 months to the public.
And you said how many?
What, BlizzCon?
Yeah.
BlizzCon was 25,000, and they sold them in minutes. They don't last long. They were gone.
I was going to say even stuff like SDCC, the New York Comic Con. Geez, that was awful. All those they sell out like you have to be like hitting F5 like nonstop to be able to just get them.
Right,
like,
right.
Half my feed whenever one of the cons are coming up, one of the bigger cons, is hey, who's got an extra room? Who's got another ticket that they could sell?
Right, right. And it's just not, it's E3 is the biggest trade show for video games and electronics in general as far as the systems are concerned. And they're not meeting those numbers or barely meeting those numbers. And I don't even know what the ticket price was, but I figure it's probably a couple $100, to be honest. I mean,
that's about average.
BlizzCon tickets are $199 or something like that, or $149, depending on the length of the time, I think, because you can buy a single day or you can buy all 2 or 3 days. Yeah, whichever it is. But those tickets go like hotcakes every year. People are frothing at the mouth to go. And it's only 25,000, and out of the millions, I want to go out on a limb and say 100 million people that play their games. We'll go.
Holy crap! That. So for the business pass for E3 is $995.
Oh, great.
That's the devs and stuff. They don't have the cost anymore on the industry or... Wait. Hold on. That must be wrong because I'm looking at E3 now and it says the business pass, the 3-day show floor pass, and various business pass benefits was sold out. However, the on-site pass, the 3-day show floor pass, is $995. So $1,000? If oh, yeah. These are... Okay, no, that's fan passes. So... Right. $500, $300. That's not including travel.
$149 for a day, or $249 for 3 days for the fan passes. That's a lot of money, and man, to think that Blizzard makes that in freaking minutes. Everybody wants to throw money at them, but we can't keep continuing to be fanboys here.
Well, and I think E3's... Okay, so let's look at the lineup you have right here. And then, obviously Blizzard's out because they do their own thing. Microsoft could afford to do their own thing because they could actually bundle some of their more PC stuff if they did a convention.
Not only that, but Activision as well. They show their stuff during the Microsoft and Sony, but barely. And we'll get into how those conferences were.
What I was going to say is, like, how many of these guys are big enough to actually have a convention? Bethesda might be able to. Microsoft and Sony obviously can because they have so much other tech that they do. So, here's the thing with Blizzard, they have championships and everything. Not all these people have games that can do championships.
But I'm not saying I'm not equating the announcement stage presentations because Blizzard will do those on a weekday out at the theater near the campus out in Anaheim.
I think you're missing my point though. What my point is, like, these companies, there's already several big companies out here that can afford because they have so much stuff they can present.
Right.
That Microsoft and Sony can do their own things because they can lump in people like Activision or EA.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I got you now.
So E3 is dwindling, and really that's only supporting them is, I guess, Microsoft, Sony's humoring them. Bethesda, if they have more multiplayer games, maybe they can branch out a little bit more. I mean, you know, they're known for just a handful of really big games.
Right.
Ubisoft might be able to break out, and I don't know. It's just, see, you know, my thing is, like, much longer can E3 last in its current form?
Well, and the
Nintendo's
answer
already dropped. Nintendo's they dropped them. You know, aside from like a trifle amount of stuff or whatever.
Microsoft doesn't need to go to E3 anymore because Microsoft does a stage presentation every year, or even every like half year when they announce new devices or new software or updates to software.
Yeah.
They could totally do that at their conference, just like, you know, like Google and Apple do their own conferences. Microsoft could just lump the Xbox in on that. The Xbox is not their main focus, you know what I mean? Yeah. They're more about the platform than they are about the hardware.
And that's the other thing I was going to circle to, is, you know, this used to be just a journalist and developer thing.
Right.
Now that we have, like, Blizzard showing, oh, well, I'll just sell an internet pass for $20 or $40 or whatever. You know, these guys are paying a lot of money to be at E3 when they could be making the money.
Right.
You know.
And we simulcasted the freaking conferences free here on the channel. So I mean it's not a huge deal for me to just, and that's free. We got to see all those for free and sit here and critique and call out our favorites and all that. But
yeah, so that's just my not necessarily concerns for E3 because I don't know, because the last few years have been just really bad. Unfortunately, yeah. I want it to be good because I like playing video games, but they just and I guess we'll get into that part real quick.
Yeah, we're gonna start with possibly one of the worst conferences right here. EA was all sports and nothing really new. It was bad. There was even, you saw that GIF I shared, or GIF, or however you pronounce that stupid G word. It's GIF, right? Graphic interchange format.
It's GIF. It's how the developer. We're not
getting into that. They like had this awkward moment where the two football, as in soccer casters, went to go high five and totally just missed the cue or whatever. Now, so hey, one was really excited. One was really excited and wearing really tight, skinny jeans, and the other was just not paying attention, I guess. But
hey, whenever you go to high five, look at the person's elbow. For some reason, that works every time.
Right. And I don't understand. It was a bad miss too. I understand. FIFA probably makes them a lot of money, especially with those microtransactions in the game, and I can appreciate that. But I mean, not really something I was looking forward to.
Real quick, I don't know if this is breaking news or not, relatively, but they just announced that Mac Gargan, the guy that becomes Scorpion in the Spider-Man comics, is going to be appearing in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Really? Yeah. Like
I don't know if he's going to be appearing as Scorpion or just as Mac Gargan.
Yeah, like a prelude to the character showing up later. kind of like
And
they
that's
did
neither
with
there. Hopefully, we'll hear more about it later on. But
right.
he's one of my favorite villains.
All right, Need for Speed Payback looked really good. It looked like they combined Need for Speed with Burnout. I don't know if you remember that series. That's the one where the point was to crash the cars. So some of the collisions look like the Burnout games. Game looks really good.
Need for Speed's always looked good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a racing game fan, but those games have always looked good.
They're right up there, not completely up there with Forza, but you know.
Okay, yeah, I will admit that too.
Battlefront 2. The biggest announcement out of that is all the DLC will be free. Because we don't like segmenting our fan base like they've done so many years with all the Battlefield titles and Battlefront 1. I guarantee they noticed, and that's the big thing. Everybody played the base maps, and then they got tired of it and stopped playing the game. And and just like I said, even the Battlefield 1 people, even a lot of the popular streamers that I watch went back to play Battlefield 4 instead of Battlefield 1 because it's not as good. All DLC will be free, maps and modes, probably customization, microtransactions, different skins.
Or they're going to spend, or they're going to make you buy $800 pre-order without the game again.
Yeah, there you go.
That was
Mass Effect.
Or was it $100?
I don't know. It was a couple $100 or something like that because it was the drone or whatever, the vehicle. But EA overall was pretty depressing. But they were one of the few shows actually the developers really all did the normal thing where they had part of the development team come out and talk. Another highlight of the EA one was I can't even remember. There was another one. Anyways, most of the developers actually did stage shows, but like Microsoft and Sony we'll get into, and it was interesting. All right, Bethesda, mediocre at best. However, they did say everything they showed would be out this year, and that's a good thing because there's a lot of good stuff coming. But we'll see. Fallout VR and was not a surprise, but it was good to see they actually have more progress than they did last year. And since they plan to release it this year, that's a good thing.
Better.
That's a really good thing. The surprise was Doom VR, kinda, because they released the BFG edition of Doom 3 for the VR, which it was basically you sit and it's the motion in the game while you're playing with a controller on the keyboard and mouse. Doom VR looks like the teleport mechanics, where when you push one of the buttons on the VR controller, it'll bring up like an arc where you're shooting a teleporter device and you'll teleport to the spot where it's landing. So instead of it being a locomotion, which, trust me, that's the better way to go, the locomotion will 9 times out of 10 make people motion sick until they get really used to it. Even trying Minecraft on the Vive makes me sick, and that has locomotion, or you can do it where you push a button to move, and you kind of your head kind of jerks forward because you're expecting your body to move and it's not moving. So for it to be one where you can move around in the 2.5 by 2.5 meter space that you have for the lighthouses for the VR, or at least for the HTC Vive, it's a good way to do it. And I assume that's probably the same thing they're going to do for Fallout as well.
That's what frustrates me about VR right now. And I don't know, until they make it to where you can walk around, I guess.
They are working on it. There's a horror game that they were working on the technology where you'd get to a wall in your game. Mm-hmm. Not a real wall in the game, but your wall in the house. And it would bring up your grid so you know you're there. And what you would do is you would hold down a button and it would pause your movement, or pause the head tracking. So it'll trick the device into thinking you're still looking at that wall when you turn around and give yourself more walk room. And that's the kind of thing that would work. And speaking of, I don't want to get into that right now. I got to put together a report for that one. Steam announced their new VR controllers for the HTC Vive, and they're going to be awesome. Anyways,
I'm waiting for the gloves that give you sensory feedback.
Oh, I will show you the article I'm talking about, and you'll see it.
It's more than just vibration in the fingers and the hands. Like give you sensations of cold and hot.
That would be neat. That would be neat.
Yeah.
But you got to worry about overheating the device and generating
also,
cold.
the batteries would be like 15 pounds, so you'd be like
Right.
curling them.
Right. Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, in preparation. Like I said, for the Steam sale, I bought Wolfenstein New Order so I could play through that and actually finish that up. That looked really good, and it looks like they're putting in some really good, memorable moments. I'd like to throw in here, too, thanks again to Shane and Greg, who sat in on a couple of the conferences with me, in your stead, Mitch. Which I wish you could have gotten into. I hope maybe in the near future, the next couple, maybe we can figure something out for those. Maybe.
Yeah, next time I'll try to play. Well, they shouldn't be doing it in the middle of the week.
Well,
it was weekend, people.
It was Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. I mean, Tuesday was Nintendo, and really, who watched that? So technically, it would have only been Monday. But anyways,
I can talk about it into the one. I know about that one.
Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus. The end of the thing, they had a cinematic cut where one of the French Resistance guys dropped acid and all of a sudden was seeing this like weird looking chameleon, and he picked it up and was talking to it. Like at first you thought it was just something added to the screen, but no, it was what he was seeing on his trip. It was hilarious. So the characters look like. And like I said, I haven't played through the first one completely, but the characters, from what other people are saying, look more alive and have more like interaction and in the world. So, and then finally, Evil Within 2 looks really good.
Hopefully, it's better than the first one. Did you play the first one?
I did not play the first one. I think I have it on Xbox Live, but that's about to run out in August, so I'll never get around to it. Maybe it'll be on sale one day. The new one looks good, but I mean that's all I can speak to because it was a cinematic cut and they didn't really show gameplay, so you can't make the best opinions on it. The Wolfenstein, they did have some stuff, so
yeah. With the first Evil Within, its plot was just like all over the place. To reference Yahtzee, it's like somebody went to developers and were like, okay, let's make a horror game. And they're like, okay, about what? Well, I just told you, horror. Well, what do you mean horror? Like, what themes do you want to work with? Horror, and horror. Come on.
Right.
So it just was jumping around erratically, and it was always changing the rules on you. And it just, after like 1 or 2 or 3 chapters of the thing, I was like, 1, this isn't scaring me, and 2, this is kind of boring and frustrating. And it was developed. Okay, again, let's go to Dark Souls. If it's the gameplay is good, like the controls are there and everything, and the game's built around the controls, then it works. Even if it's hard and unfair, as in they take off a chunk of your health every swing.
Right.
Every time they look at you, they take away half your health.
Right.
But it's not because the controls are bad. It's just that the players got to learn it.
Right.
When you're saying, okay, well, this is a shooting level, but you've only got 1 bullet, and you have to take on 15 monsters, and if they touch you, you die. Well, that's on your bad development.
Right.
And if you change it, okay, well, actually, you're supposed to be sneaking, but here's a bunch of ammo. But also, if you shoot them, they're invulnerable, and they're going to kill you. Well, why are you doing this? I think your wires got crossed there, buddy.
Right.
So anyway, but I'm always a sucker for a good horror game. Maybe Evil Within 2 will be good. Maybe they'll get their act together for this one.
We need what was that one game on the GameCube? Was it Requiem?
Yes. Eternal Darkness is Requiem.
Yeah.
I say that all the time.
Yeah.
Gotta bring that back.
Yeah.
Gotta bring that back.
All right. The next 2 we're kind of gonna cover in bulk because there was some crossover in it, but I pulled out at least the only 2 freaking Xbox exclusive games. Microsoft's conference. First, I'll preface it with what I was going to say because we'll do both of them together. Microsoft and Sony both did Sony's format for last year, where they had nobody come out and talk. They just showed trailer after trailer, which kind of was frustrating at some point because even well, we'll get into that later. But the Ubisoft one was top notch. I know that's weird for me saying that. Yeah. Anyways, the Microsoft one was, well, Xbox. They literally made the initial not initialism. What's it when you like CIA, FBI? Initialism's where it makes a word, but there's
yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, Xbox. The Xbox One X. That is their new system. The Xbox One X. So it has an X at the beginning and the end. It's as annoying as most of the gamer tags on the Xbox world.
Yeah, I thought it was clever. I'll admit, I thought it was clever.
Well, I mean, it spells out Xbox, so yeah, I had to give them an applaud for that, but I don't know. Also, everything they had to let you know everything was in 4K. By the way, there would be a voice that would go 4K.
Yeah, well, you didn't. Yeah, and there were hardly any games that were announced. I still haven't. I don't think I've watched the Anthem. I did go back and watch a bunch of trailers.
The Anthem trailer, it looks like... Okay, so Anthem was the last thing they showed, and that is one of the only exclusives that Xbox has. Xbox is not doing a great job of selling their systems because there's no reason for me to buy the Xbox One X. They did not give me a reason to buy it. There's no exclusives to show off the power of the console. Which means what you'll get is aftertouches for the stuff that they made for the PlayStation 4. And then, upscaling of resolution on graphics.
And if we remember from the whole PS3 PS3 Xbox 360, the PS4 was on paper more powerful, but because some of the games were developed for the Xbox One first, their graphics ended up looking better than the PS4's.
Right.
The Ghostbuster game, for example.
Yeah.
Looked superior in most cases.
Right.
So, yeah, so, and I'm a console guy. Why should I buy the Xbox One if for Anthem? For a multiplayer game that I could turn on at any day and they could be, wait, we decided to shut down the server.
So Xbox One exclusive also comes with a quotes on there because usually it means Xbox and PC. So I have... Xbox, the Microsoft conference gave me absolutely no reason to use my Xbox One anymore, except for video streaming. So, which I can do for free and not with live. The other game they announced was an Xbox exclusive, and also PC, because I'm already playing it and have been streaming it, is PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. That is also going to be an Xbox One exclusive. So really, they really did not do what they needed to do to sell that new console. So they have a 4K system that doesn't have a lot of support for 4K games. Well, doesn't have a lot of support from third party for 4K graphics. Now, the other problem is they don't have any first party either. That is a huge gap where you can look at Nintendo at the other side of the fence and say, man, their graphics aren't really that great, but man, do they have that selling power with Mario, Zelda, and, Metroid if they ever decide to do a damn game again.
They
okay.
were released 2.
Okay, spoilers. We'll get to that. I have not even watched the Nintendo conference, so...
Dude.
I figured it wasn't much, but, okay.
They actually brought... it's not necessarily their A game, but they brought their B game, I think.
Okay.
Announcing Metroid has been a big thing.
So,
but we'll go ahead and finish everything else.
Yeah. Hey, Tom. I was got an instruction from the control booth upstairs that I needed to wave and say hi to my brother-in-law, so... all right.
Well, then he needs to say something on chat.
Right?
There.
Yeah, all he's got to do is say hi. We'll say hi. No problem. All right, Sony. Once again, they had a really nice set piece, and the colors changed to the videos going on, and apparently during the Days Gone trailer, or the gameplay video that they showed, apparently there was actual bodies, like zombie bodies, swinging from ropes above the stage. So they went all out on their stage display. But man, they really did not explain much. Days Gone looks really good. I thought it was The Last of Us 2. which is made by the same company, Naughty Dog. They are making 2 titles now with zombies in it. Or wait, does Naughty Dog not make that? Who makes Last of Us? Is it Naughty Dog?
I thought it was Naughty Dog.
Right? They do the Drake ones too, right?
Right. They did Drake. They did Crash Bandicoot. They did Jack and Daxter.
Okay.
Yeah, developed by Naughty Dog.
Okay. So it looked really good. It looked so good that like I said, I thought it was like Last of Us 2, which is saying a lot because they do a really good job at their graphics and how their environment's alive. But Days Gone is apparently a totally different animal. There are a couple of different ways to accomplish what you need to do, including sicking a horde of zombies on some bad guys' camp. Apparently, one of the things they showed was the guy snuck up into a camp and picked up a bear trap and replaced it in the path of a patrolling guard, and the guard got snapped on it, and the guy had already passed by the camp as they were going to the guy because he was yelling and screaming in the bear trap. And then he looks over the cliff and you can see these zombies start coming towards the screaming. And then you hear a gunshot and that guy stops screaming.
Oh, wow.
So it's going to be a pretty dark title, but it looks incredible. Yeah, man, I tell you what.
I'm just worried when they do stuff like that, is that going to be like the one scenario where you have that option, or are they going to actually give you...
Or are they always going to throw that option at you?
Yeah.
This conference, watching the Sony stuff, made me wish I would have passed on the Xbox One and just... I mean, I have no reason to have a Xbox One now. Thanks a lot, Microsoft. Alright, got to see Call of Duty World War II, which looks pretty good too. I will get it because I like World War II titles. Kind of a sucker for it.
I thought there was an unspoken rule that there were going to be no more World War II titles unless it was about super Nazis.
They found out that Battlefield 1 did a really good job in bringing the crowds in, at least initially. So hopefully, and I will wait to purchase it. I will do what you do, and I will wait and see what people say about the campaign. Because that's what matters to me.
I just thought that was like the rule these days was that
I have enough multiplayer shooters for online. I want Call of Duty World War II for the story. So if they cheap out on it, I'm not gonna buy it. And like I said, that's one of those things that's Activision showing up inside somebody else's conference. Now the Microsoft conference also they got to show. Assassin's Creed Origins, because that was one of their 4K titles. Monster Hunter World. Apparently,
is that the reason you want the PS4?
No, it's coming to the PC and the Xbox One as well. Okay. It's not an exclusive. They've given me a reason, apparently, because they are not bringing Double Cross or Generations 2, however we're gonna phrase it. They're not bringing that to the 3DS. And I'm upset about that. But if I can get this on the PC, and it's multiplayer and online, and I can play with my buddy Scott, I am more than happy to.
Aww.
It looks really cool. You can actually track the monsters, so you can like look for the footprints and actually trace the big monsters out. Instead of like, you played the one that we played together. You kind of had to guess and run around and try and find it. You'll actually be able to track it. So that's kind of neat. They look like they add a lot of stuff to it, and it should be fun. The other big surprise, Shadow of the Colossus. I don't know if you remember that from the PlayStation 2 or not. Did you play that one?
No, it was only one of the best PS2 games.
So you never played it.
No, I never played it. No, everything I heard about it was that it was butts.
Well, then this will be your chance to play it for the first time through, because they are not remastering, but re-releasing with additions. They're not, it's not just going to be the way it was on the PlayStation 2. They're going to change things because they have the technology to change things. It's not just going to be a reskin and an upscale. It's going to be completely rebuilt, is the best way I can put it.
Well, good, because that game was gorgeous even on the PS2. It can only look better. If they make that game look bad, then they don't deserve that game title.
Have you not seen the video?
I haven't seen the video for that one.
You should look at the video. I was even excited. Listen, Sony did a really good job at selling the PlayStation to me this year.
And here's the thing: you didn't even put the game on there that I wanted to talk about with Sony.
Which one?
The Spider-Man game.
Oh, I didn't put it on there because it's a freaking Sony PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah, well, I want to get a PS4. I got to because of Kingdom Hearts anyway. But here's the thing that I always worry about whenever they show like some gameplay or whatever.
Right.
It's either that it's going to be one section of the game and it's not going to, you're not going to have all these options all the time. Like know how he was doing his stealth webbing or whatever.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, no, I watched it.
Yeah. So. Is this going to be just this section, or is this going to be something that we can continue throughout the game? I don't want these isolated sections of gameplay.
You know what I saw in there? I saw Spider-Man kick a guy off the building, but then save his life, and I was like, for a split second, I thought, well, they're going to make Spider-Man kill somebody, and then the webs went out, and I was like, he's not going to kill anybody. What am I saying?
Well, at least he's not going to leave people unconscious with bones broken, freezing in winter blizzards, right, Batman?
Right.
In your games.
So, so I got a question for you. Do you want to spoil who the bad guy is?
Oh, that's just one of the bad guys.
Okay. Well, I mean, obviously. So who is it? Who's the guy that they showed in the trailer?
Mr. Negative.
Right. Or wasn't it Negative Man? Or was it Mr. Negative? Okay.
I think he's called Mr. Negative.
Okay.
He's a relatively newer character. His alternate person, he's like got dissociative personality disorder, kind of like the Hulk.
Right.
His normal personality is this good guy, this like millionaire that runs homeless shelters, and and his evil side is a crime boss.
Right.
And he actually is the one that made the Anti-Venom character.
Oh, okay.
He uses powers and blah blah blah. That's not important. The other thing that bothered me is there was a lot of QuickTime events in that presentation.
That's been a big concern too. Everybody's been saying that. It's like, well, wait a minute. Are we going to be inundated with with QuickTime events? Because I know those are your favorites.
There's nobody.
Do you remember Dying Light? Did you play that? Didn't we play that together? Didn't we play that together? Do you remember how it ended?
Yes, and it pissed me off.
It was a QuickTime event. How do you finish a game on a QuickTime event?
Especially that game. It came out of nowhere. I don't think there was another QuickTime event in the entire game.
Right. Yeah, there was none. No, we were tracking that. You can
absolutely tell they ran out of time finishing it.
Yeah. So QuickTime events. Mitch is a big fan. He would like them to be in every single game that he plays from now on. I'm just kidding.
And just about the only game I will give a pass, and that's even barely, which you don't have it listed here, is God of War series.
Which actually looked really good.
It did look really good.
Considering, I haven't played a God of War game since PlayStation 2, and that was probably the first one, but still, it did look good, and it looks like it'll be interesting. I can't wait to see that one as well. I didn't mention that because, it's kind of an obvious one that I figured we'd bring up anyways, so. But it does look really, really good, and I like the whole weaving in the Norse mythology now.
Yeah, so now he's killing Norse gods.
Yeah.
And you saw the Midgard serpent.
Yeah.
It looks like he's the one that gives him the magical axe.
Right.
So that's interesting because the Midgard serpent in traditional Norse mythology and even in Marvel Comics is a villain.
Right.
And he's the one that kills Thor.
Right.
Well, technically Thor kills him, but the poison or venom that Thor gets during the battle causes him to die afterwards.
Right. All right, Shadow of the Colossus. All right, so the best conference at E3, hands down, for the wow factor for what they showed us, was Ubisoft. I know that's really, really a big stretch, but those other conferences seemed really dull compared to what they were showing. And the heart and soul poured out by the developer or the game designer for the Mario and Rabbids game. Dude was crying. If you're making fun of him for doing a lifelong dream and bringing together two great titles like the Mario Brothers and the Rabbids, you need to get your head checked. Dude was crying because not only was his game coming to life like he wanted, but Shigeru Miyamoto came out and delivered the great news.
Yeah, so that's one thing that I was like, this is going to be so hard to criticize. I absolutely hate the Rabbids. I hate their design. I hate everything about them.
The game looks fun though.
The game, but here's the thing: one, it's Mario games. Mario games tend to be fun. Another thing is it's a strategy game like XCOM or Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Those games are really good.
Right.
Why wasn't it just Rayman characters in general, and then maybe the Rabbids as well? I hate them. They're like minions before minions were a thing, and I hate the minions.
Right.
Just terrible character designs, and they.
So during this conference, that became my first new favorite game. Now the rest of the Ubisoft conference became a roller coaster of emotions as they went through from that of Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, which, like you said, it plays like XCOM as like a strategy. If
you haven't played XCOM, by the way,
yeah, XCOM.
I'm not even good at those games. Like, I don't want to say they're real time strategy like StarCraft is exactly. Because you use cover and everything. They're
not real time strategy. They are. There's a word for it. It's a turn based strategy. Turn based strategy.
Like,
yeah.
But God, they're so much fun to play. So frustrating when you're like right there, right in that alien's face, and it's like, oh, you have a
15% chance.
Yeah. Ow.
Dude, the alien is literally licking the barrel.
Yes.
So, all right. So the next game that they showed, I was like, they showed a pirate ship, and I was like, are they doing another Assassin's Creed Black Flag? Because I thought that they weren't going to be continuing to do Assassin's Creed games over and over again. Nope, they took the best part out of Assassin's Creed Black Flag and made it its own game standalone. Ubisoft Singapore studio is spearheading the lead to make the game Skull and Bones, which is a multiplayer, from what I've seen so far, between PvP and also free roam with your friends, looting and plundering the Indian Ocean.
Now, here's my thing. Are they actually going to finish the game before releasing it? Because, you know, the Assassin's Creed type games, and I don't know if this Singapore studio has ever worked in conjunction.
Singapore studio, yeah, they worked on Black Flag. They worked on the naval warfare portion.
Okay.
And they ran with what they did so well that everybody loved about the game and are making a game about it.
Yeah.
So that is a great thing to play to a strength like that.
Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. That yes, even from what I've heard, because I didn't play it, that it was the best part of the game, hands down. I'm just wondering if Ubisoft is going to do their normal thing where they release heavily glitched games, and like the skins aren't there, and especially because Sea of Thieves, the rare version of the Pirates thing, that's the one I was initially excited for until they said Skull and Bones. So now I'm like, oh.
Make sure you sign up. Make sure you sign up for the beta on PC so we can play together.
Yeah, which one? For both of them?
For
a beta for Sea of Thieves?
Oh, I don't know if they're doing one for Sea of Thieves, but I know they're doing one for Skull and Bones. I already signed up for it.
All right, well, I'll definitely sign up for that one so I can try it out.
Yeah, that game, it looks polished already. So and I think they did say it's coming out this fall, so it's pretty much ready. I'm sure since Black Flag, they've probably been working on this title over at the Singapore studio. So it's in conjunction with, I think, Montreal and one other of the Ubisoft studios. Which this conference was also under an air of uncertainty as well, because Vivendi is in the process of trying to do a hostile takeover on Ubisoft, which could be bad for the company, obviously.
Well, bad for the company, but would it be good for gamers?
Vivendi's constantly been sinking studios, constantly.
I don't remember the last time I've played a Vivendi game.
I can tell you the last one that I played was Evil Genius, the base building game.
Oh, I wanted to play that. Was that good?
It is a great game. It's on Steam. Get it. or I'll send you the discs.
I might have it on my wish list. I need to double check.
All right, Far Cry 5. I was like, oh, they're gonna do Montana and meth dealers and cults, and I was like, man, they are really trying to hit the nail on the head here with the whole Midwest racism thing. Game looks incredible, and they have the best thing in the world in the game. There is a dog in the single player that will distract enemies, and you can then shoot the enemies while he's like ripping at them, and then he will bring you their gun.
Yeah, but here's the biggest risk, and we all know this with video games and dogs. Does the dog die?
I don't know. You know what? It'll probably do a down thing because he's probably an essential, and or they'll kill him in the story and make it worthwhile to kill him instead of him just dying senselessly. So, Assassin's Creed Origin looked pretty good. Ancient Egypt theme. We're going all the way back.
Real quick, how generic is using Origins in the title?
Well, I mean,
it's like using Revelations. Or
yeah,
Apocalypse.
I guess. I mean, but they did it first. I don't know. Origins. You follow along one of obviously the original assassins, and he has drone technology back in ancient Egypt. He has a hawk that he can send out, and instead of, you remember how you used to have to go climb up the tallest tower? Now you just use the hawk.
Or whatever?
Yeah, now you just use the hawk to fly over an area, and the hawk can mark targets for you. So they're bringing something of their other games, like Splinter Cell and stuff like that, where you can mark targets and bring it into that game. Which, it's kind of weird when you go do a prequel after you've done so much technology gain in the original titles. For them to have to throw in a drone like that, the hawk told them exactly where that guy's at. I mean,
very, very, very well trained hawk. I guess it's some Assassin's Magic. They have that, right?
Yeah, there you go. So the gimmicks are there, but it looks like they're trying to break the mold on it and trying to do something great with that game. It is open world instead of being in one city here and then you move to another city. It's a wide open area. So that's another benefit moving towards the open world games. But now the last thing, the most important thing that they showed at that conference was the cinematic for Beyond Good and Evil 2. Did you watch it?
I watched that twice.
You watched it twice, okay. Did you watch that video?
Does it look good?
It looks great. Did you watch the video I sent to you on Facebook? That wasn't the cinematic, it was the in-game engine. Looks amazing.
Yeah, I meant to watch that in-game thing.
Yeah, well, you can take a look at it, and we'll pull a couple of screen grabs, because they just released it today or yesterday, and I wasn't ready for it. I didn't know it existed. So we'll talk about it next week, because it looks really good. They've got some good feature movement from the characters. So
yes, I'm always worried about, and I know I sound negative all the time, but prequel. But I wanted to know what happens at the after Beyond Good and Evil 1.
After
everything, did you
with
play that?
After everything with Jade, right? Wasn't that the character Jade? Yeah, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Yeah, I played that game and I loved every minute of it. It was so awesome.
Yeah,
when I saw, you know what? I'm sitting there and the reaction on the stream when Shane and I were sitting there watching it, I saw the pig guy and I was like, are we getting a Beyond Good and Evil? Are we getting a sequel to Beyond Good and Evil? I was so excited. I was like, what was the name of that game? Why can't I remember it? I know. What is this game? Oh, I was so excited. It's one of my favorite games from back in the day. Yeah, it was such a great game. It
was a really good game, and it was one of those games that I didn't expect to be good. It's like I heard about it and people were talking about
it. Exactly. That's why I said this was the hidden gem. They saved it for last, and with good reason. It has been 15 years or something like that. Or
well, you remember
16?
They released 2007. I think they released another video of Paige and Jade sitting together.
Okay.
You remember that one?
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, when they first announced Beyond Good and Evil 2, which was years ago, you'll see it was Paige versus a fly, He
Oh, okay.
pop his nose.
All right, I'll have to look it up because I don't remember that. But man, it looks great. And when you watch that gameplay video, and it's a 15-minute video of the developer going through it with you, it looks really good. They look like they are putting everything they got into that game. The engine looks amazing. It's very.
I'll absolutely check it out.
Ooh. Long day at work, huh?
Sorry, it's been a long day.
Oh,
I woke up
close.
really early. I woke up at like 4. Huh?
No, that's fine. That's fine. So,
and we're out of coffee.
Right. So, what I was gonna say was we'll save Nintendo so I can actually sit down and watch it, and we'll put it on next week's episode, just so I can comment on it as well. We'll save that for next week, along with the gameplay for Beyond Good and Evil 2, which, like I said, looks amazing. But that's all we're gonna do for this week. Thank you for tuning in. Those of you that showed up live on the stream on YouTube, and thanks for listening. Those of you at home, please leave us feedback on our episodes on iTunes, Google Play Music, and anywhere else you can get our podcast from. So it helps with visibility, so others may discover us. And please like, share, comment, and subscribe on YouTube, where we're talking to you.
You can contact us at ECG_podcast on Twitter and our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/ECGpodcast, or our email address at ecgpodcast@gmail.com. Also visit our webpage, www.stasisgeek.com. That's STASISGEEK.com. I think.
Yeah.
Or like Jeremy said, post a comment and we will totally read it. I think you said that because I don't remember. I've already forgotten. Also, Thumbsy, thank you for joining in, and you guys check out Thumbsy streams on Twitch and YouTube.
Yeah, definitely. I've subscribed to both, I think. Maybe not Twitch. I may have to get that one. But, yeah, for sure. Some good gameplay videos from the stream there. From Thumbsy's stream, sorry. All right, we will be back next week, I promise. I'm off next week, so I got all week to prepare for next show. Until then, stay geeky.